What are the best watch collections one can build for around $20,000? Well, today I wanted to present to you 5 watch collections I feel are absolutely amazing in and around that price point that are definitely worth your consideration. So let's get right into it. Before the video begins, guys, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button, subscribe for more videos like this in the future. A quick reminder, I am running an Omega Speedmaster giveaway along with my friend JJ from the Watch Hangout. There is a video that describes everything you need to ultimately enter into the video giveaway. So I will leave it linked down in the description below. Please be sure to click on it and follow the description to ultimately enter. So I feel like $20,000 for a watch collection is a great overall price point, just given that it is somewhat sensibly financially responsible and isn't absolutely insane, in the grand scheme of the watch world, of course, because, $20,000 is a huge amount of money for normal collectors. But of course, we in the watch community are a little bit quirky and a little bit different. And, we think about money in relative terms, right? It's all about our personal happiness, and these watches certainly help deliver with that. But I just feel like it's a very responsible collection. There's so many great watches out there to be had in and around that $20,000 or less price point, and you can build really a full collection. So starting first with a collection that I feel has an amazing range, and so it's really focused on maximum versatility. The first watch in this collection should come as no surprise. It is one of the ultimate strap monster watches, and that is the Omega Speedmaster. Now, of course, you could pick any variation of the Omega Speedmaster, but my personal preference is always towards the classic Moonwatch Speedmaster Professional, just due to its overall versatility, again, it being a strap monster. Now, I'd always recommend getting it on a bracelet, and I'd always go towards the Sapphire Sandwich model, which gives you the ability to view the movement through the watch's display caseback. And of course, I'd always tend to go for the 3861 Speedmaster, as it's anti-magnetic, more accurate than the 1861 Speedmaster, and also just overall, I feel like it's just a more superior watch. Now, in terms of price points, you're picking this watch up around the $600 to $6,500 price point on the secondary market. And of course, if you're gonna go for the Hesalite 3861, you're gonna look at the $500 to $5,500 price point, depending on year, condition, and if it has its box and papers. Now, the second wristwatch is from Rolex. It is the Rolex Explorer Reference 16570. Now, again, you can go black dial, but I would go for the white dial just to have something a little bit different than, say, for example, the black dial Speedmaster. The 16570 to me is probably one of, if not the best value Rolexes currently on the market. It's something that you get a GMT complication function from Rolex. And of course, you have that incredible movement, the incredible proprietary build quality of the 16570 in a 40mm case size, which I feel suits more naturally smaller wrists and generally all wrist sizes for the most part. And of course, around that $6,500 price point, pending year, condition, if it has box and papers, I think it's one of those amazing steals. Like, how can you go wrong with a Rolex GMT movement inside of a watch like the Explorer 2 for around $6,500? It's an unbeatable value, one of the best watches out there for the money. And I think it just lends itself, again, to be a perfectly versatile watch because it's something that you can wear on the bracelet. You can change out the bracelet for a leather strap, especially if you get a Holes case, for example. Just an amazing timepiece, and again, a great addition to this collection. And last but certainly not least is a dress watch. So you have 2 dailies, you need a dress watch, and that is the JLC Master Ultra Thin Moon, something that you're gonna pick up around the $7,500 price point if you're looking at a pre-owned full set example. Now, whether it's the white or the black dial, again, either way, you can't really go wrong. I personally like the white dial. It's more suited for dress occasions, and I just feel overall you could have a lot more strap pairings with the white dial as opposed to the black dial. And again, this is a collection focused on maximum versatility, and so I just think it's better suited for this collection. So 3 watches in and around the $20,000 price point: Omega Speedmaster, Rolex 16570, and a JLC Master Ultra Thin Moon. Just an amazing 3-piece combo deal. The second collection is for the minimalist collector. This is somebody who doesn't want many watches and wants something that is absolutely pure and simple in its aesthetic, its performance, and just its overall design. Now, for me, there is nothing more simple and pure than a Rolex Submariner Reference 14060 in a particular variation known as the 2-liner sub. Now, the 14060 is something beloved by watch collectors as it's one of the last pure examples of a no-date Submariner design as it was intended, right? Something with 2 lines of text, very simple. Again, the no-date format is perfectly symmetrical, and in this Submariner case, in the older reference, the 5-digit reference, lends itself to be much thinner and easier to wear on a day-to-day basis than, say, for example, the newer style maxi case Submariners. Now, this is a watch you're going to pick up, again, pending year, condition, and context, right around the $8,000 price range. I think a phenomenal watch at that price point. You're getting a timeless icon in the Submariner in one of my personal favorite references. So easy to wear on a day-to-day basis. And again, a great strap monster, something you can wear either on a leather strap, but again, when it comes to Rolex quality, I would never take it off the bracelet. Now, secondly is going to be another super simple watch, something that is extremely timeless, and is the white gold Vacheron Constantin Traditionnel. Now, I'm happening to be wearing a white gold Traditionnel. This is a limited edition of 15 pieces with a blue dial, but for the purposes of this collection, because of course, you probably won't find this one out there on the market, I would just go with the simple and timeless white dial, which provides a perfect contrast to the black dial sub. You're going to pick this up again pending year, condition, and contents right around the $12,000 price range, which for a watch that has a Geneva seal that is from Vacheron Constantin Holy Trinity brand is just an exceptional value and an exceptional wristwatch overall for the price point. So again, a Rolex Submariner 14060 and a Vacheron Traditionnel in white gold, both in a great size, great format, super simple, perfect for that minimalist collector. And again, another collection falling under $20,000. Now, third up is for somebody who has a larger wrist. I wanted to accommodate all wrist sizes in these collections. So let's go after somebody who has maybe something like a 7-inch wrist or larger and wants some bigger watches in their overall collection. Now, my number one bargain pick is always going to be an Omega Speedmaster Racing. I know a Speedmaster is just, again, one of those timeless icons, but specifically, I really like the white racing dial Speedmaster. It's a watch that I think has a great design, a great textured dial, with of course a coaxial automatic movement from Omega, super reliable, robust watch, and for around $7,000 or less, it's hard really to find a better watch out there for the money. And again, at 44 millimeters, it's going to be well suited for somebody with a larger wrist. My second pick for the collection would be something that is, again, extremely versatile, something that you can wear on a bracelet and quickly change it out for a leather strap or the new deluxe rubber straps, and that is a Cartier Santos with a blue dial, of course, in the larger case size. Now, I particularly prefer the white dial, but of course you can get it in a range of different variations, the DLC coded one, for example, the white, the green dial. There's a bunch of different dials out there and variations out there. Again, like the Speedmaster, you could really peg it to your personal preference. I just like the blue because here in this case, it suits this collection really, really well. And you can pick it up today now, box and papers, full set for around $6,000, which I think is a lot of watch for the overall money. Again, you're getting something with a quick change strap system that has an iconic and timeless design with, of course, the Cartier Santos. And of course, it's just a reliable, robust watch that is perfect to wear on a day-to-day basis, something you really can't go wrong with. Now, lastly, to round out this collection is an IWC Portugueser, but it's one in particular, and it is the Portugueser made for the 75th anniversary. This is one of my all-time favorite watches, under $10,000, but unfortunately, it's a watch that I personally can't wear. Otherwise, I would 100% own it. The case size comes in at 43 millimeters, and they really took their time with this watch. It has that old-style kind of Portuguese format with the old IWC International Watch Code text on the actual dial, small discrete day window at 6 o'clock, and it even has an 8-day power reserve with a power reserve indicator on the back, manual wind movement, just an exceptional timepiece. I believe they only actually used this movement for this specific wristwatch. Again, one of my all-time favorite timepieces, under $10,000. I cannot sing this watch's praise enough. I think it's one of the most over-engineered, best-looking watches IWC ever made. And if they ever came out with it in the 38 to 40 millimeters, I would 100% own it in my personal collection. Just a spectacular wristwatch, and I think it rounds out the collection really, really well, as you have the white racing dial Speedmaster, of course the blue dial Cartier Santos, and lastly this IWC Portuguese 75th anniversary. Just an amazing three-piece collection, and again, under $20,000, something that hits every single high note, and it's just a beautiful, well-rounded collection that is extremely versatile and not something you'll see every day. Now, the next collection is for somebody like me who wears a suit to work every day or just generally enjoys more of a dress-themed collection, and so the heavy emphasis is on dress watches in this one. Starting first with what I feel is one of the best contemporary dress watches, although it was made back in the 1900s, and that is the JLC Reverso. Now, I know, of course, there's this age-old debate, is the JLC Reverso a sports watch because it was originally intended for polo players, or is it a dress watch by modern standards? I'm firmly on the latter side of the camp, where I simply believe it's a dress watch by modern day standards. Now, my pick for the JLC Reverso, of course, you can really pick any variation. There's so many out there, but I would really go with the JLC Tribute Moonphase. It's one that has actually a dual-sided case, both a white kind of textured dial and then a blue dial, which are both spectacular. Phenomenal look for the money. Even for somebody with a smaller wrist like myself, I have a 6¼ inch wrist. It actually wears very well. The modern Reverso cases downturn in terms of like the actual profile really, really well. So I can actually wear this watch. And I think they trade right now right around the $10,000 price point, which again, I think is a phenomenal value. You're getting a dual-sided Reverso, something that actually is a GMT complication or a travel watch, because when you flip it over on the top of the case, you can actually engage the pusher and move the hour hand independently on the second side of the Reverso. So great watch. You get basically two watches in one, super versatile. And again, the white and the blue dial, both are absolutely stunning. From JLC, the watchmaker's watchmaker. Now, next up is another Cartier Santos, but this time the Cartier Santos Dumont in the XL size. I'm going to go for the mechanical version. Of course, if you want to go a little bit more inexpensive, you can go for the quartz version, something that you don't have to set every single day. But I'm a purist. I like mechanical watches over quartz watches, generally speaking. And so this is, I think, just a timeless classic, a beautiful wristwatch, perfectly dress themed, and of course right around that $5,000 price point. How can you go wrong when we're talking about a Cartier Santos? Again, a timeless classic, something that you can dress up and dress down, and another one of those strap monsters, right? Pretty much anything will look good on this watch, so you can really dress it up in a number of different ways. And last but certainly not least, you need something that you can wear kind of on a weekend basis or an everyday basis, or just kind of as a more rugged sports watch, so to speak. And so my choice was actually the Omega Seamaster in a particular variation, something that they released only a few years ago, the Seamaster Heritage. Now, I like the black dial. It tends to lean a little bit more dressy. Again, this collection is more dress focused, but you can also get the blue dial, which is a lot more sporty, and I think a little bit more fun. And would be my choice if it wasn't a dress themed collection. But the black dial is great. You can pick them up again around the $5,000 price point, full set. Great overall watch. Of course, you're getting a METAS certified movement, automatic Seamaster line. I mean, how can you go wrong? All those things make it an amazing timepiece. And for $5,000, I mean, it's literally half price a Rolex, a modern Rolex Submariner, or even less than that if you consider the secondary market prices. And yet the technology is there, the quality is there. And when it comes to the overall just design heritage, the Seamaster is one of the best in the industry. And the final collection is actually my personal favorite collection, and that is for somebody with a smaller wrist. Somebody like myself who has a 6¼ inch wrist. It's very hard to pull off a lot of the watches that I've named here today, just because my overall dimensions in terms of wrist size, I like to wear something 37 to 39 millimeters, but lug to lug wise, no more than 48 to 49 millimeters is really the maximum my wrist can take, just because, I don't know, I just have a preference nowadays towards smaller wristwatches overall, and so that's just generally what I go for. Now, starting first, I wanted something that I can travel with, that I can beat up, that I can wear every single day, but that is more kind of a weekend watch than anything else, and that is the Tudor Black Bay 58 GMT. Now, I like it in particular on the rubber strap. The reason I like it on the rubber strap as opposed to on the bracelet, and I know that's crazy to say because Tudor's bracelet are just really over-engineered for the price point, just amazing bracelets, but I just feel that on a rubber strap, it makes it really distinct from the Rolex GMT Master 2 line, and also lends it to be a lot more sporty. I think just overall, it's something that, you know, you won't have to worry about scratching or babying, you know, the bracelet itself if you're on vacation with it, going in the water, etc. And I just feel overall the aesthetic lends it to be a lot more sporty and just generally a lot better, as it's not quote unquote copying a Rolex GMT, as a lot of people do find. Again, I don't agree with that at all. I think the Tudor GMT is just a beautiful, distinct design, especially in the Black Bay 58 variation. But on the rubber strap lends itself to be even more of a great watch, and I think super distinct from the Rolex offering. Now, the second watch is going to be something you can wear every single day. It's a watch I recently picked up for myself, and that is a Rolex Explorer. I like the reference 214270 in 39 millimeters, but you can get a 14270, for example, in 36 millimeters, if of course that suits your smaller wrist better. for even cheaper price points. So if we're talking the 39mm 214-270, generally you're going to pick these up for $7,500 or less. If we're talking the Mark II dial and the Mark I dial, you're going to be looking at even less than that, around the $6,500 or less price point, generally speaking, for an example that is a full set, of course. Now, last but certainly not least is a release that was done last year by JLC, and it was one that I was a huge fan of, and it was a back to basics approach from JLC in the Reverso Tribute medium or mid-size. Now, they came out with two different dials, one in a silver dial, which is kind of more classic, or the blue dial, which is my personal preference, particularly in this collection, for example. And it's just a perfect case size. Going back to the original size of the original Reverso, I think was such a smart move from JLC, because a lot of collectors are not comfortable with the larger size Reverso just because they don't suit their wrists. You know, non-round watches tend to wear a little bit bigger than just round watches in terms of the overall dimensions. And I think, you know, for a 41 JLC Reverso wore almost like a 43mm round watch. So it was just too big for most watch collectors. So going back and scaling down in size was just a beautiful, choice overall from JLC. And I think that the watch itself is stunning. So again, a Tudor Black Bay 58 GMT on a rubber strap, a 214-270 Explorer 39mm in the Mark II dial, and last but certainly not least, the JLC Reverso in a mid-size case with the blue dial. I think this is just an absolutely perfect 3-watch collection, and if you ask me, that's my personal choice for watch collections under $20,000. So guys, this wraps up my top 5 watch collections that you can pick up under or around the $20,000 price point. Let me know down in the comments what you think of course, these collection, which one would be your choice, or if you had a different selection, please let me know down in the comments what you would pick in and around this $20,000 price point. It's always good to get your feedback. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button, subscribe for more videos like this in the future, and as always, my name is Marco for the Burdeen's Jewelry YouTube channel. I'll see you guys in the next one.